You know, I'm a Norman Rockwell fan, and many years ago on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post, there was a painting by Norman Rockwell showing a woman buying her Thanksgiving turkey. The turkey is lying there on the scale, and the butcher is standing back behind the counter, his apron pulled tight over his fat stomach and a pencil tucked behind his ear, and the customer, a lovely lady of about 60, is watching the weigh-in, and each of them has that pleased look on their faces, though each knows a secret joke. You may remember that picture. There's nothing unusual about a butcher and a customer watching as a turkey is being weighed, but the expression on their faces indicate that something unusual is going on. And Norman Rockwell lets us in on the joke by showing us their hands. You see, the butcher is pushing down on the scale with his big fat thumb, and at the same time the woman is pushing up on the scale with her dainty little finger, and neither is aware of what the other one is doing. Cecil Myers wrote about that painting, and he said both the butcher and the lovely lady would both resent being called thieves. You see, the lovely lady would never rob a bank or steal a car, and the butcher would be indignant if anyone accused him of stealing. And if a customer gave him a bad check, he would call the police, but yet neither one of them saw anything wrong with the little deception that they would do for make a few cents difference one way or the other. Rockwell gives us a picture of how we seek to live. Seems like we're always trying to manipulate life for our own advantage. Unfortunately, this usually results in settling for less instead of actually having God's best. What we're talking about today is the life you were meant to live. I'd love to know what pops into your mind when I say that phrase, the life you were meant to live. How do you envision that life? So what comes to your mind? What is the life that you were meant to live? Lest we get sidetracked into unrealistic fantasies. Let me be clear about what I'm talking about when I say this. The life you were meant to live. We're talking about a life where grace and ability to be loved by God and so completely body, mind, soul, and spirit that there are no barriers between you and God. That kind of life. The life that we're talking about here is we're talking about a life where your heart is at rest with confidence because you know that God is right there. You know God like you know your own name, that you belong to God and that God delights in you. It's a life where the burden of guilt is gone. God has removed it. He's redeemed you. It's a life where the strongholds that were once the ones that threatened to destroy you, and they've been broken by the power of Jesus in your life. It's a life where you awaken every day in the knowledge that by God's grace and mercy, you are free. Free from the bondage and free to love God without compromise. Free from all the things of the past. Unencumbered to go forward. That's the life. That's the life that you were meant to live. So ask yourself today, is that the life that you're living? And if not, think about how you can get that life through Jesus our Lord. This is Pastor Riley, and that's a thought.